Welcome back to Goodnight, Lighthouse. I'm Miss Dorothy, and I'm here to read you another story. And I am so excited about tonight's book because I found a book that is one of my absolute favorites. I used to read it to my boys when they were little, and you know they're all grown up now. And I would always read it to my students in my classrooms because it is such a fun book to read. And I think you're going to love it. And the name of the book is What? Cried Granny? What? Cried Granny? An almost bedtime story. Why is it an almost bedtime story? We're reading it and it's bedtime, so it should be a bedtime story. I wonder what happens in this book that makes it almost bedtime. We're going to have to get into this book and find out what happens with Granny. Are you ready to get into this fun book with Miss Dorothy? Good. I need you to sit up and listen up, because here we go. What? Cried Granny? An almost bedtime story. Written by Kate Lum, pictures by Adrian Johnson. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Patrick who was having his first sleepover at his granny's house. As the sun began to set, Granny said, "Patrick, dear boy, it will be dark soon. Time to get ready for bed." "But, Granny," said Patrick, "I don't have a bed here." "What?" cried Granny. She ran out to her yard where some tall trees were growing and chopped one down. What is she doing? She carried it to her workroom, opened her toolbox, and made Patrick a fine bed. Wow! She chopped down a tree and built Patrick a bed so he could go to bed. Then she painted it a restful shade of blue, put a comfy red mattress on it, and took it to the bedroom. "There you are, dear boy," said Granny. "Now climb into bed, lay your head on the pillow, and sail off to dreamland." "But, Granny," said Patrick, "I don't have a pillow here." "What?" cried Granny. She ran out to her henhouse, woke up the chickens, and collected a big batch of feathers. Oh no, here she goes again. She took them to her sewing room where she made a bag out of cloth. Then she stuffed it with the feathers, sewed it up neatly, and gave it to Patrick. "There you are, dear boy," said Granny. "Now climb into bed, lay your head on the pillow, tuck the blanket under your chin, and I'll kiss you good night." "But, Granny," said Patrick, "I don't have a blanket here." Oh, no. "What?" cried Granny. She ran outside and headed for the hills where a flock of fat sheep were snoozing. She sheared off some of their wool and ran right back home. Oh no, Granny ran all the way over all those hills to get to the sheep. She took the wool to her basement, spun it into yarn, knitted a fuzzy warm blanket, and dyed it the prettiest shade of twilight purple. When it was dry, she carried it upstairs and spread it out on the bed. "Now, dear boy," said Granny, "climb into bed, lay your head on the pillow, tuck the blanket under your chin, give your teddy bear a hug, and turn out the light." "But, Granny," said Patrick. Oh no. "I don't have a teddy bear here." "What?" cried Granny. Poor Granny. She grabbed her emergency sewing kit, tore down the living room curtains, cut, sewed, stuffed, added button eyes and a red ribbon, and made a teddy bear for Patrick. A giant teddy bear. Look, she has to climb up on a ladder to finish sewing it. That's a big teddy bear. "Now, Patrick," cried Granny, "climb into bed, lay your head on the pillow, tuck the blanket under your chin, give your teddy bear a hug, and go to sleep," said Granny. "But, Granny," said Patrick. It's morning. What? Cried Granny. Oh no. It's morning. Patrick was going to spend the night at Granny's house, but he didn't have a bed, so she went and made him a bed. He didn't have a pillow, so she made him a pillow. She spent all night long making Patrick everything, even a giant teddy bear, so he could go to sleep and have a sleepover at her house. But it took her so long to make everything that it's morning. Poor Patrick never got to go to bed. I guess that's why it's an almost bedtime story, because it never really got us into bed. This is a crazy book, one of my favorite books. I hope you liked it as much as Miss Dorothy did. But now, here's the thing. Patrick might not have had to go to bed that night, but you have to go to bed. You have a bed, you have a pillow, you have a blanket, you probably have a teddy. It's time to go to bed. I need all my little friends to get under their covers, get cuddled up, curled up, ready for a really good night's sleep. And tomorrow, if you get to go spend the day at your granny's house, don't make her build you a bed. I'm sure she has a place for you to sleep. And whatever Granny says, obey, and obey right away. And then come back and see Miss Dorothy. I'm going to be sitting right here, ready to read another book to you. Bye! Thanks for reading with Miss Dorothy. I hope you enjoyed this book, and I hope you'll come back soon to read another. What's your favorite book? Drop Miss Dorothy a note and let me know. I'll go find it, and I'll read it to you. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share. I'll see you soon.